Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. Now this has 1,750 horsepower, 1,475 pounds-feet of torque from a 7.4 litre twin turbocharged V8. The car itself now weighs 4,367 pounds, and it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.018 seconds, 0 to 100 in 5.368 seconds, and going to a top speed of 212 miles an hour. Has off-road tyres, which are now wider to go along with its standard all-wheel drive system. It's been changed somewhat in terms of the way it looks, but yeah, on the whole, this is pretty much the same kind of off-road beast that it was, but it's just had some slight upgrades outside of the engine, which is obviously a big upgrade because it didn't even have 300 horsepower originally. So yeah, speed, acceleration, launch, and braking are all really rather good. Off-road capability is pretty solid. Only downside, as per usual with these large off-roaders, is the handling, which is only a 2.9, which I'm pretty sure is worse than the Land Rover from the previous episode. So yeah, and even though that was a pretty easy car to drive, this has way more power than that car ever did. So yeah, this could go either way, to be honest, but yeah, looking forward to seeing what it can do, especially in comparison to other modern off-roaders like the Toyota Tundra, the Ford Bronco, the Land Rover from the previous episode, and the like. So yeah, being a pickup, these can tend to be a little bit oversteery due to the lack of weight over the rear. It is monstrously quick, that's for sure, so hopefully all of that power will make up for any deficiencies in its handling and overall controllability. Certainly going to be quicker down the straights than the Land Rover was, which did struggle in that department, which is why it was as far down as it was. Yeah, that's pretty quick. I think I saw 165 then. Now, this is the only engine we could actually swap into this car. The standard engine, like I said, didn't even have 300 horsepower originally, so yeah, you wouldn't get much more than 600 or 700 horsepower out of that, which in a car that doesn't weigh all that much would be plenty, but this obviously still weighs well over 4,000 pounds, and yeah, gonna need a fair bit more power than that to shift the weight around. And obviously this is on the other extreme side where it's probably a little bit too much power, but I'd rather have too much than too little, to be honest, especially when we're dealing with a car of this weight and size. For now, it's dealing with it okay. Well, that may well be down to the fact it's not able to put all of the power down, but for now, it's struggling with an 1800 horsepower Jeep, which is certainly more powerful than any Hellcat version. At the moment it seems quite sedate like the Land Rover was, but obviously we've got way more power to deal with. Not the nimblest of things though. The Land Rover was a little bit nippier and a little bit easier to turn in. The Land Rover was pretty much as quick down that straight as well. You just weren't able to put the power down all that much there. Fair bit of understeer at times as well, which is no surprise. Much larger engine in this than it had originally. Pretty quick across the finish line, nearly 140 there. and a time of 3 minutes 21.660. So yeah, despite not feeling as nimble as Land Rover, it's what, nearly, yeah, it's more than 7 seconds ahead of that Land Rover. So well and truly beats that, and in fact we get all the way up into 9th place. No, not 9th place. 8th place. We beat the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, despite being a far more cumbersome vehicle, as well as a Toyota Hilux AT38. The DeLorean DMC12 is now knocked out of the top 10 after being in there quite some time. We also beat the other modern off-roaders like the Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, and like I said earlier, the other off-roaders that were modern that we're trying to beat were the Land Rover Defender from the previous episode, the Ford Bronco, and the Toyota Tundra, which we've smashed in terms of the time, quite frankly. So yeah, 8th place is pretty solid. We're only slightly behind the Nissan Safari Z 370Z Safari Rally Tribute, which, yeah, like is a far nimbler and lighter car than this. So yeah, to be less than, what, 0.3 of a second behind that is pretty solid. And we're only about half a second behind the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which, yeah, was a hilariously quick car. So yeah, really impressed by this. Obviously the power helped a lot of the way there to overcome the weight and any handling deficiencies, but still, it wasn't a hard vehicle to drive whatsoever, and yeah, didn't have many issues to deal with on that course. So yeah, overall a solid vehicle and a good standing from Jeep, which I think is the first car that we've had from Jeep on this series, yeah. So yeah, look forward to seeing what other vehicles from them can do. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.